You know how most foods start to resemble science experiments when they turn gray, sprout mold, and release that unmistakable ammonia scent? Normally, that's the cue to toss it straight into the trash, no questions asked. But with blue cheese, that funky smell and those blue-green veins are like a flashing green light that it's time to grab some crackers and dig in. Calm down, hear us out. Yes, blue cheese is unapologetically moldy. And for some people, that's a bit of a hard sell, but believe it or not, the mold used in blue cheese isn't just harmless, it's kind of a health superstar. From the crumbly Roquefort to the creamy Gambazola, these cheeses are not only safe to eat, but also come with a whole backstory that might just make you appreciate every pungent bite. Now let's get into why moldy cheese is totally okay to indulge in, and maybe even great for you. First, let's talk about the origin of blue cheese. Legend has it that blue cheese came into existence by pure chance and a dash of bravery or maybe just desperation. Over 1,000 years ago in southern France, a shepherd, likely looking forward to a well-deserved break, sat down in a cave to enjoy his humble meal of rye bread and sheep's milk cheese. But before he could even take a bite, something spooked his flock, sending the sheep running and the shepherd dashing after them. Months later, he wandered back into that cave, probably famished from all that sheep chasing, and found his forgotten snack, now covered in a healthy layer of mold. Now, most of us would have screamed and thrown the whole thing away, but not this guy. Whether out of hunger, curiosity, or a complete lack of fear, he took a bite. And as they say, the rest is cheesy history. That accidental discovery in the cool, damp caves of France is the beginning of blue cheese's story. The mold that formed on that forgotten lunch, Penicillium roqueforti, turned out to be not just safe but downright delicious. And since then, humans have been perfecting the art of making blue cheese in caves, not just for its distinct flavor, but for the health benefits that come with it. So next time you see those blue veins in your cheese, don't think spoiled, think French genius at work. Now, you may be wondering what gives blue cheese its signature flavor. Well, it all comes down to some friendly mold, Penicillium roqueforti to be exact. This particular strain of mold, which naturally thrives in the cool, damp caves of southern France, is part of the same family as penicillin. Yes, the antibiotic. Unlike the mold you chuck out of your fridge in disgust, Penicillium roqueforti and its close cousin Penicillium glaucum are completely harmless and don't produce any nasty toxins. When these beneficial molds meet cheese, magic happens. Whether they sneak in naturally from the environment or are deliberately added in cheese-making facilities, they set off a cascade of biochemical reactions that make blue cheese the delightfully funky treat it is. These molds release enzymes that break down proteins in the cheese, a process called proteolysis that gives blue cheese its creamy texture, especially near those famous blue veins. But that's not all. The mold also triggers lipolysis, which breaks down fats and releases methyl ketones. What does that mean for your taste buds? That sharp, tangy flavor that hits your tongue like a savory punch, paired with that unmistakable aroma. When next you get a whiff of blue cheese's signature scent, just remember, you've got some friendly mold and a little biochemical wizardry to thank for it. Now, how is blue cheese made? Blue cheese might seem like an ancient relic of a forgotten shepherd's lunch, but the truth is, cheese making has come a long way since those accidental moldy snacks. Take Roquefort, for example, a cheese so iconic that its entire annual production, a staggering 18,000 tons, comes from one little village in southern France. And yes, they still rely on caves to make it, just like that old shepherd. But the process has gotten a lot more sophisticated. Here's how it works. Cheesemakers start by leaving rye bread in those magical French caves to grow mold. Why bread? Turns out mold loves grains even more than dairy. Once the bread is sufficiently moldy, it's dried out and ground into powder, which is then sprinkled onto fresh sheep's milk cheese curds. After the curds are shaped into cheese wheels and given a little salt for preservation, they're punctured with tiny holes. This lets air circulate inside, giving the mold the perfect environment to work its blue vein magic. Then it's back to the caves, where the cool, humid air helps the mold do its thing, transforming the cheese into the tangy, creamy treat we know and love. But don't worry, not every blue cheese has to take a cave vacation to get that distinctive moldy flavor. These days, most blue cheese is made in super clean, high-tech facilities that mimic those perfect cave conditions. By keeping the environment controlled, cheesemakers can ensure that only the good mold, like Penicillium roqueforti, thrives while keeping out any of the bad guys. Because we definitely don't want that kind of mold on our cheese. And it's not just Roquefort. The world of blue cheese is vast. From England's Stilton to Italy's Gorgonzola to the homegrown Maitock Blue of Iowa, all these cheeses share that same moldy charm. Different regions, different flavors, but the same lovable blue veins, all thanks to the friendly penicillium spores that make blue cheese not only safe, but delicious. And just so you're aware, blue cheese isn't just a tasty addition to your charcuterie board. It's also a secret health powerhouse. Sure, it might not seem like a healthy food at first glance, thanks to its strong smell and funky mold, but behind that blue vein goodness, there's a whole lot more going on. For starters, blue cheese might actually be good for your heart. That's right, the same cheese that people often joke about smelling like gym socks could help lower your LDL cholesterol, the not-so-friendly kind that clogs arteries. By working its magic to keep those cholesterol levels in check, blue cheese becomes a heart-smart choice for anyone looking to show some love to their cardiovascular system. And it doesn't stop there. It's also packed with potassium, which helps balance out sodium levels and keep blood pressure in line. Basically, it's a cheesy way to sneak in a little extra heart health with every bite. And let's not forget the bones. Blue cheese contains calcium, which is crucial for maintaining strong bones and keeping osteoporosis at bay. And just to sweeten the deal, there's a good dose of vitamin K in there too, which helps your body absorb and use that calcium properly. So when you're munching on blue cheese, you're not just indulging your taste buds, you're giving your bones a big high five too. Blue cheese is also loaded with zinc, a mineral that's essential for keeping your brain sharp. It helps with memory, mood regulation, and overall cognitive function. And if that wasn't enough, there's a compound called spermidine found in blue cheese that promotes the growth of new brain cells. Yes, you heard that right, blue cheese could be helping your brain stay sharp and spry, all while you enjoy its tangy goodness. Spermidine triggers a process called autophagy, which is a fancy way of saying it clears out damaged cells to make way for fresh, new ones. So you're not just getting a flavorful punch, you're giving your brain a little extra TLC. As if that weren't reason enough to indulge, blue cheese is also surprisingly versatile in the kitchen. Whether you're pairing it with fruit, melting it into sauces, or crumbling it over a salad, it has a rich, tangy flavor that can take any dish to the next level. It's just as comfortable in a classic recipe like mac and cheese as it is on a gourmet pizza or as a surprising ingredient in desserts. Yes, desserts. Try it with honey or caramel in a tart for a flavor combo that's sure to blow your mind. So when you find yourself enjoying a wedge of blue cheese, remember, you're not just satisfying your cravings, you're doing your heart, bones, and brain a whole lot of good. That little bit of funk, it's all part of the health-boosting charm. Are you team blue cheese or do you prefer your cheese mold-free? Let us know in the comments. Also, like this video, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell right there to know more about cheese goodness.